My name is Jacob, and I've been single my whole life. I'd like to blame it on social media and dating applications as they give the illusion that something better is out there for individuals, but that's simply not the case. I've always struggled with personal insecurities that have hindered my interactions with others. I'm an average male who seeks affection like everyone else on this planet. Everyone wants that one surefire way to attract others, but unfortunately, that doesn't exist. I spend much of my time reading books and doing research on ways to improve confidence and how to be a dateable person, but nothing has worked thus far. That is until recently, where I found a very unique technique on attraction that frankly changed my life. Follow me on my journey as we explore this uncommon yet effective way to find love. In order to explain this technique, we need to go forward in time. A week later to be exact. I was browsing dating advice on YouTube before bed when I went down a rabbit hole, only to discover something called wet sagging. The video I stumbled upon was titled Wet Sagging in Levi's 511s, made by the channel Messy STE1. It depicts a guy slowly walking down a hillside looking like he just came from a Kings of Leon concert. You hear ambient chirping as he approaches a body of water and begins to slowly submerge himself, teasing the audience as he goes. He's an artist and wet sagging is his craft, and as an artist he knows how to draw suspense. Finally, he's fully submerged, flat bill and all. All that swimming made Messy STE1 thirsty. He quickly chugs down a Dasani, and then he begins to flop like a fish out of water on the forest floor. I guess you could say, his sex is on fire. I was confused by what I had just watched, but noticed the video has over 85,000 views with many comments including, "Your hot bod looks so fine in those wet saggy jeans. You're so fine. Really hot. Awesome sag and hot Nikes. Wear any leather jackets? Hot vid bro. Awesome. Very hot video. I love how natural of a swimmer you are and baseball caps are perfect for you, smiley face. I just love the way you get so wet. You're cute. Cool. Love pants videos." Had Messy STE1 and all the other wet saggers cracked the code on attraction? I decided to dig deeper and found the channel Baggy Style. The video is titled Wet Baggy Style Sagging. The video opens and we see a pool with a yellow float crammed in the corner of a room with beer posters on the wall. We then see a white etnie with knee-high tube socks perch on the pool. It was Baggy Style. Baggy submerges his shoe in the water and we can tell he used warp stabilizer because the camera is going wild. However, Baggy is not one for fun and games. Unlike Messy STE1, there is minimal teasing, and he quickly pulls down his pants and dives on the yellow float. Baggy Style is enjoying the float. Looking at his beer posters hung on the wall, he's not only a part of the party, he is the party. This madman then hits us with another seduction technique and begins pouring water over his head from his etnie. As if the crowd isn't already going wild enough, he begins to double fist his etnies and gets twice as much dirty shoe water at a time. To cap the video, Baggy Style then gets in a quick wrestling match with his pool float to assert his dominance and show it who's boss. After getting the victory over the pool float, he then stands up and tosses up the peace signs. Baggy Styles is not someone you want to mess with. Unfortunately for us, the comments have been disabled on Baggy's video. However, he got over 28,000 views, which isn't astonishing, but certainly isn't bad either. I spent the next few hours browsing wet sagging videos, and my question earlier became answered. Wet saggers have cracked the code on attraction. It was this moment I realized I wanted to wet sag. I decided to reach out to every wet sagger I could, requesting to interview them and learn their ways. After many sent messages, it was finally time to call it a night because I knew I had a long day ahead of me, as my wet sagging journey was just beginning. The next day, I got out my Levi's 511s, soaked them down, and made my way to an abandoned mall close by. They say actions speak louder than words, and this is true, because my wet shoes were echoing throughout the mall. At first I was reluctant, but I quickly began embracing this new side of me. As I walked with my damp pant legs sloshing against one another, I gained a sense of clarity, a sense of confidence. It's as if wet sagging unlocks a part of you that you never knew you had. Everyone nearby would hear me coming and gaze in my direction, and I'll be honest, I felt like Brad Pitt, which is something I could get used to. Later on at the mall, I found this graffiti that spoke to me on a whole new level. Wet and nasty. It's as if the gods Messy STE1 and Baggy Style shined down on me in the moment, telling me, you're doing the right thing. At this point in the trip, I had enough of the mall and I had a craving to be wet, so I knew where to go next. Words can't describe how alive I felt, how free I felt. Suddenly, all the trivial things in life didn't matter. As the hose doused me down, I was in pure tranquility. Everyone that pulled up near our bay to get washed would stare at me in a confused manner, probably because they thought I was so attractive, but I don't really blame them. As I stood there getting sprayed, I started wondering what bystanders were thinking. Probably thoughts like, hot outfit, smiley face. Wow, really hot sag. Love the way the hose sprays you down. Very excellent sag and also the perfect amount of water. I love it. Top-notch sag, BTW. Has anyone ever told you you look like Brad Pitt? Well, a wetter version of him anyway. Cool, love pants videos. The day was coming to an end, but I decided I wanted to take my sag public, and I needed some groceries, so I made my way to a local store. And I know, you guys are thinking, wet sagging is cool and all, but isn't it dangerous to track water in? That's why I had someone follow behind with a mop, wiping my tracks as I went. Plus, it made me feel like I was royalty, and I was really catching some stares from the other shoppers. Also, as another safety precaution, we brought our own wet floor sign, just to let the other shoppers know this guy is a slippery, hot, wet sagger. I finally knew what Post Malone meant with saucin' on you, because my sauce was dripping, and who knows, maybe Post is a wet sagger himself. Regardless, I finally made it through my first day as a wet sagger and I was ecstatic. To celebrate, I bought a gallon of water and doused myself down right outside the store. People coming and going saw, and once again, I was an eye magnet. I harnessed the sag and nothing was going to stop me. I was happier than ever before because I knew the next step would be to land a date. Back at home, I gathered some of my favorite clips from sagging throughout the day and began to set up an OkCupid profile to score a hot date. I created an email, wetsneakersrock@gmail.com, to show my love for wet sagging and wet shoes. I then threw together a quick about me, picked out my pictures, and my OkCupid profile was ready to go. Also worth mentioning, a wet sagger messaged me back and we ended up emailing back and forth. I set up an interview with him the following night. I decided to call it a day and went to bed early to mentally prepare for the interview to come. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to jump into questions if you're cool with that.
Let's go for it.
All right. So, how did you first hear about wet sagging?
I first heard about wet sagging one day when I was browsing YouTube. I feel like it was back in 2009. Saw some videos of some guys, just walking into some ponds and, just getting their sag on. And ever since then, I've kind of really been into it.
So that leads into my next question then. How did you become a wet sagger?
After browsing some videos, I thought I'd give it a try, and it was life-changing. And, it's fun to play in wet pants. I started making some YouTube videos of my own. I got a lot of good comments, and, it made me feel good about myself. And, I feel like anything that you feel good about, you should continue to do. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, all right. So you mentioned like you were getting comments and stuff. So that also leads to my next question. What draws you to being a wet sagger? Is it the comments, the views?
At this point, it's like a constant need to have my clothes wet. So that's obviously a huge factor. But knowing how attractive it makes me look to others because of the comments that I've been getting, and something about just how enticing it is. I just can't describe it. But I know for a fact that I look good wet, and it makes me want to continue to do it.
All right, and would you say you gain confidence by wet sagging?
Absolutely, I feel so confident when my clothes are wet. So definitely, something about being wet in an outfit, it just makes you stand out from others, almost as if you're above them. So definitely,
Would you say it gives you a sense of attraction?
absolutely, yeah. I feel like it makes me way more attractive to others. What about the way it just your clothes are clinging to your skin, and I don't know, something about being wet. It's sexy.
Yeah, it's sexy.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
I'd have to say so. So
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. Well, one more question for you here. Do you have any advice to people who want to wet sag themselves? Anything to say to them?
I mean, not to be, just don't be afraid to try it. First time it might seem a little weird, but I mean, as soon as you get into it, you'll understand what it's all about, why we do it, why wet saggers are, out there doing what we love to do. And I think anybody that tries it will love it too. They'll probably hop on the wet sagging train.
The interview with the wet sagger came to a close, and I was ready to take the next step. I had been talking with a girl named Tila on OkCupid, and I even got her number. I decided the next step was to send her a text and ask her on a date. To my surprise, she said yes. I went to sleep thinking about the upcoming Saturday because I was prepared to sweep Tila off her feet. Saturday finally arrived. I brought a kiddie pool to my local park and anxiously awaited for Tila's arrival. Suddenly, I became extremely nervous, almost calling the entire date off. But then, I remembered what my fellow wet sagger told me.
Just don't be afraid to try it.
Don't be afraid to try it. This statement resonated with me, and my confidence started to burst through me as I began repeating this in my head. I was ready for the date. Tila texted me stating that she was running behind, so I decided to take the time to get a little wet before the big date. Finally, she arrived, and we embraced like two long-lost lovers. I was a little wet at this point, and a damp hug never felt so good. After some small talk, we both settled down, commencing the beginning of our date. What? Well, basically, it's like a lifestyle thing. I'm a wet sagger, so it's like a form of like attraction. Does that make sense?
Not
It's like
really.
like people are like vegans and stuff like that. It's hard to explain, but
So like I'm gluten intolerant and then you're a wet sagger.
exactly. That's
I don't, okay.
its own thing, but so tell me about you though. Right out of the gate, I was extremely nervous. It was hard to gather coherent thoughts, and I began questioning being a wet sagger. But still, I persisted on, knowing how attractive it made me and how much I stood out.
Yeah, I'm not a wet sagger. I'm gluten intolerant though.
Okay.
So when
Sorry.
you first meet people, you just like throw it out there or?
Is it weird to you? Like what?
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're the first sagger that I've met. Yeah, you definitely are the first that I've met.
Is that strange to you, or you like is it something you'd be comfortable with?
In like a swimsuit.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
So you just carry like a kiddie pool around with you?
I mean, At this point, I started to loosen up and the conversation was flowing. Tila and I were vibing like I've never vibed with anyone else before. It was truly magic, and sparks were clearly in the air. So like when we were setting up, like I just felt all this attention and like it just like grows this confidence, because people are like, why does this guy have a pool? Like, why are his pants sagged? And then you combine the two and it's like...
I would imagine. Oh my God. So like is there like a certain level that you like it at, just a little bit, or do you usually like to kind of fill it up high? It doesn't seem that high right now.
Well, this is like kind of like a lower level, like we just do it for like a...
You didn't have that much water.
Yeah, just like a tease amount, Like
oh,
it's
a tease.
It's like a tease.
So you're going to be wanting more later, right?
Exactly.
Oh
'cause
gosh.
it's like when you see the, you know, it's just like a, it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
my flies unzip. It's a little weird. It's part of the gig, you know.
I thought it was part of the
stand
whole
up.
sagging.
Yeah. But how's your day been besides this?
As the water had time to marinate, more and more flies began flocking to our location. One could even guess they were a little jealous of the attention Tila was getting from me, so they started swarming her like kamikaze bombers.
For sagging, I would imagine.
You could say that, yeah. Feels pretty good.
And then would the water be warm or cold or?
Definitely warm water. If I'm in the
always
winter
warm
time,
water?
for sure.
Always warm water, like
Well,
even now?
Right now it's like lukewarm. You can feel it if you want. You're okay?
I'm good.
It's a little lukewarm. It's nice, but good temperature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah.
Just relaxing, just right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now, I'll keep it low key. Maybe not as wet. Maybe just like a damp amount.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe they'll be interested. Maybe they'll want to try it. I mean,
it's cool. Feels good. Looks good.
I guess just the pool out in the middle of. Okay. Interesting.
I'm sorry. I'm just taking all this in.
Yeah, this is like your time, right? Your moment. Okay. So is there like a certain time of day that you like to sag and?
Pretty much any time is
Just
good
whenever you
sagging
have free time?
Yeah, it's good sagging time.
Okay.
Crack of dawn, later on, you know.
Okay. Chilling out, watching the sun
Yeah.
go down.
The only thing is, like, if I go to a store, for example, like, we have to follow behind me just to, like, mop up any
that's a big job.
mop up any water.
You've
or
got
anything.
some good friends.
Yeah.
You mop up his water? When
But
necessary.
you can't have like wet floors, so I don't want to like anyone slipping behind me.
Yeah, okay. That's
I'd hate to say I do knock ladies off their feet, but
that's a good one.
I thought of that joke on the fly, and Tila ate it up. It was this moment I knew I was in. There would without a doubt be a second date.
Just get a shirt made, caution.
wet floor.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yellow and red,
Mhm.
They'll see you coming, then they'll know.
Yeah.
They don't even have to ask you. They'll just read the shirt. Like,
Mhm.
oh, he's a, what do you call it?
Wet sagger.
A wet sagger.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle choice.
Hashtag wet sagger, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
It definitely is.
Whenever there was any sort of silence, I was basking in it. Before, I'd always be nervous trying to fill the void, but now I just genuinely feel comfortable. Wet sagging is so great.
I mean, I don't know if you like don't have stuff going on, like we could hang out together. Would it be weird if I
Maybe if we could do like dry, like
dry hangouts?
yeah, like without the pool.
What if I like brought like a towel?
So like in our swimsuits, not
Well,
regular clothes.
I mean, I would be damp, but like if I ride in your car or anything,
Oh no, you're not getting in my car wet.
can't get in wet. Okay.
No.
Well, I can drive, and I'll have like a towel in my seat, and
Okay.
it'll like be like a. At that point, I won't be dripping wet or anything. Although I might have to stop at like a self-serve like car wash and just spray down.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can.
Like self-cleaning car washes, just grab the hose. I've just spray down a little
You
bit.
just go in there and just spray.
Yeah, it's like a pit stop, you gotta stay wet. So, but it'd be fun. I mean, if we
I don't know. I don't know if I'm into the whole. Yeah, just.
that's
I
understandable.
don't really like to be wet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. Unless I'm at the pool, like a big pool,
Mm-hmm.
swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can't hug. You wouldn't want to.
You can
Can I like
do one
reach,
of these?
Can I like reach in and
You can do one of these.
maybe
yeah.
neck it?
Yeah. Boom. Your hands are kind of cold now.
It's a little clammy in here.
The date went well, and frankly, I was on cloud 9.
It was a good way to get to know each other, let's say that.
Tila and I go together like hand in glove, and we're without a doubt going to hang out again.
Probably not.
Some say you find confidence by facing your fears. Some say to visualize yourself as a confident person, and it happens. I'd say the true secret to being a confident individual is to plant the seed of the sag and let the water grow you into your true confident self. Thank you.